Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Glad to be here.
Our mission, really, is to cut through all the noise. We
Mm.
want to distill the most crucial insights from, well, quite a stack of sources, and leave you genuinely well-informed, maybe even a little surprised sometimes.
Definitely.
So today, we're working from a fresh pile. Global news reports, summaries from different organizations, research papers, all gathered just in the last day or so, leading up to June 18th, 2025.
And our goal for this deep dive specifically isn't just reading headlines. It's about connecting things.
Right.
Events that might seem totally separate. We want to look at the underlying currents, what's really shaping things right now.
Okay.
Because understanding those connections, well, it gives you a much clearer picture, doesn't it? Both the challenges, yes, but also the progress happening around the world.
And we've got sources covering quite a range today.
Oh, absolutely. Conflicts, economic shifts, environmental issues, health initiatives, even natural disasters hitting the news.
Indeed. So this dive, it's about uncovering those surprising links and maybe some vital facts. We'll try to make sense of the complex stuff.
Make it accessible.
Exactly. So let's just dive straight in, shall we? Let's
Yeah.
unpack these crucial global developments.
Okay.
You've been tracking a situation, and it's particularly concerning in the Sahel region.
Yes.
The drought conditions there, they've intensified, and now they're making existing resource conflicts much worse.
Yeah, the reports are stark.
We're seeing reports, especially from humanitarian groups, say it's not just about land disputes anymore. It's really pushing people to the absolute brink,
To the edge.
triggering significant internal displacement. What's jumping out at you from those reports?
Well, what's fascinating and also deeply concerning is just how fast these environmental stresses like drought can unravel social stability. Our sources are showing these displacements, they aren't contained, they create these ripple effects.
Ripple effects, how so?
They put immense stress on infrastructure in nearby areas, places people flee to, and it even stretches global food aid budgets thin.
Right, so it's not just regional.
No, it's a stark reminder, isn't it? How a seemingly local environmental crisis spirals into this complex humanitarian and economic challenge.
That's a key point.
And it's not just the Sahel either. We're starting to see similar patterns emerging elsewhere. Parts of Southeast Asia, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, where rising sea levels are directly threatening vital agricultural land. Same kind of pressure buildup.
That's a powerful connection.
Yeah.
So, okay, you have these escalating regional tensions, displacements. How are global economies reacting?
Well, it's interesting because
Because our sources, they actually highlight some almost counterintuitive economic shifts happening at the same time.
exactly, it's not all straightforward gloom.
Like, for instance, there's this surprising surge, it seems, in green technology investments in certain emerging markets.
Yes.
Even with all this broader global uncertainty, what do you think is driving that?
It's a complex interplay, really. On one hand, yes, the geopolitical tensions, especially around things like critical minerals.
Supply chains.
Right, the supply chains are creating volatility, no doubt. But
Yeah.
paradoxically, that same volatility seems to be accelerating the push for energy independence and for sustainable alternatives. There's one report, I think, from the International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA. It highlights something like a 15% jump in venture capital funding just for novel energy storage solutions.
In the last quarter.
In the last quarter alone, yeah. And particularly in nations actively trying to reduce their reliance on those volatile fossil fuel markets.
So it suggests a strategic shift.
I think so. A pivot. An understanding, perhaps, that long-term economic stability is actually tied to climate resilience and innovation.
Not just old school resource security.
Precisely. Not just digging stuff out of the ground anymore.
That's a great example of, foresight in action. And speaking of climate resilience, we also saw a pretty significant step forward this week on international environmental policy.
The High Seas Treaty.
Exactly. 18 more nations ratified it. That feels like a massive step for protecting the oceans.
It is huge.
But the sources also kind of hint at implementation challenges down the road. What does this ratification actually mean in practical terms? And what are the big hurdles?
Well, the ratification itself is monumental. It really is. It pushes the treaty much closer to actually entering into force,
Here's what you about.
which means we're moving towards having a legal framework, finally, for establishing marine protected areas out in international waters.
Right, the high seas.
Exactly. Areas beyond national jurisdiction. That was basically impossible before. So it's a real testament to global collaboration, facing these widespread environmental challenges together.
But the hurdles.
Ah, yes, the hurdles. As our sources, particularly from the UN Environment Program, point out, it really boils down to enforcement.
How do you police the ocean?
Pretty much. How do you monitor these vast, vast areas? Where does the funding come from? Real sustained funding. And how do you ensure compliance from all nations, especially those with, let's say, significant fishing fleets or other maritime interests?
Right. Agreeing on paper is one thing.
Implementing it effectively on the water, that's the real test. Totally different ballgame.
Absolutely. The devil's always in those details, isn't it?
Always.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Public health. We're seeing some really promising updates on a global health initiative. It focused on neglected tropical diseases.
Yes, that's right.
Specifically, a new vaccine trial in South America seems to be getting attention.
It's genuinely exciting stuff. This is a collaborative effort, WHO working with local health ministries down there.
Okay.
And they've just released phase 3 trial results for a vaccine against Chagas disease.
Chagas. And the results.
Over 90% efficacy reported.
Wow. That's huge for a neglected disease like Chagas.
It really is. But what's also remarkable beyond the breakthrough itself is the model they're piloting for distribution.
How so?
It's decentralized,
Yeah.
community-led. It moves beyond the sort of traditional top-down approach.
Meaning?
Meaning it empowers local health workers directly, builds trust within the communities they serve. It's not just outsiders swooping in.
I see. That could be crucial for uptake.
Absolutely. The potential impact is transformative. You could be looking at eventually eradicating a disease affecting millions. But maybe just as importantly, it provides a potential blueprint.
A blueprint for other situations.
Yeah, for future rapid vaccine deployment, especially in remote or hard-to-reach areas globally.
That decentralized model does sound incredibly promising, especially when you think about some of the distribution challenges we've seen with other global health efforts recently.
Exactly. Logistics and trust are key.
Okay, finally, let's touch on natural events. We had a pretty significant seismic event, an earthquake, in the Pacific Rim just yesterday.
Yes, the one off New Zealand.
That's the one. Beyond the immediate, tragic human cost and damage, what are the longer-term implications? Economically, maybe infrastructurally, what are our sources highlighting there?
Well, obviously, the human toll is always the first and most devastating concern. But the economic and infrastructural ripple effects are profound, too. This particular quake, a 7.1 magnitude, its epicenter was off the coast.
Right.
And it seems to have exposed some serious vulnerabilities in deep-sea data cables. That's according to a report from a major telecom consortium.
Undersea internet cables.
Yeah. Several major trans-Pacific cables were damaged. It caused pretty widespread internet disruptions across parts of Oceania.
Really?
And it even briefly impacted financial markets because of communication delays. Trading data couldn't get through smoothly.
Wow, I hadn't connected those dots. An earthquake impacting financial trading floors.
It just highlights how incredibly interconnected our digital world is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And how a localized natural event can have these surprising, almost hidden global digital ripple effects.
Yeah.
It's forcing a rethink, apparently, about critical infrastructure redundancy, having backups for those cables.
It certainly makes you think. Well, it's been quite a journey connecting these dots today.
It really has.
We've gone from, climate pressures, fueling conflicts way over in the Sahel, to this unexpected acceleration of green tech investments, despite global wobbles.
Yeah, that paradoxical effect.
And the High Seas Treaty ratification, monumental, as you said, but definitely challenging.
Big hurdles ahead.
And that potentially game-changing decentralized health initiative in South America.
A really hopeful development.
So our aim today, really, was to offer you a concise but hopefully comprehensive lens, helping you connect these seemingly disparate threads.
See the bigger picture.
Exactly. Get a clear, more informed perspective on what's unfolding globally right now.
And what's truly striking when you pull back like this, almost startling actually, is just how deeply interconnected everything is.
It really comes through, doesn't it?
Think about that seismic event off New Zealand. I mean, who would have immediately thought, oh, this could affect global financial trading?
Because of internet cables in the seabed. It's not obvious.
Not at all. Or how that collective action, like the High Seas Treaty, emerges directly as a response to those urgent, widespread environmental challenges we discussed earlier, like the drought pressure or sea level rise.
It forces a global response.
It does, and it really prompts a bigger question, I think. It makes you consider, In this incredibly complex global landscape,
Yes.
our human innovation and our attempts at international collaboration, are they truly keeping pace? Are they managing to match the escalating scale of both the human-made forces and the natural forces we're increasingly facing?
That's a powerful question to leave us with. Are we keeping up?
Food for thought.
Definitely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
We really encourage you, the listener, to keep observing these trends, keep asking your own questions as all these fascinating global dynamics continue to shift and unfold.
Stay curious.
Absolutely. Until next time, remember the power of having that informed perspective.